Scientists have discovered a new state of matter called Jahn-Teller metals. And it could be the key to understanding one of the biggest mysteries in physics today: high temperature superconductors. That was the cat. But yeah, I stumbled across this the other day with a friend, and it just intrigued me a bit because, well, scientists have discovered a new state of matter. New state of matter. It's like, wow, when does that happen? I have read it, and I've read around a little bit. I'll show you bits and pieces, but the gist of it, for this, the Jahn-Teller metal, that would be this metal sort of rock. It's something to do with like the electrons and the geometrical makeup of the actual physical thing. See, a physical thing has a geometrical makeup, which is present in everything, but in solids, in metals, they're packed together. You probably learned that in year 4 science class or something. And that packedness, that closeness of the particles doesn't allow the electrons to move about. That's what makes it a solid. And now with like magnetic things, they're like conducting or giving out energy. They have this energy. Everything has the energy field anyway, but things have different ones. But yeah, let's continue and see what it has to say. An international team of scientists announced the discovery of a new state of matter in a material that appears to be an insulator, superconductor, metal and magnet all rolled into one, saying it could lead to the development of more effective high temperature superconductors. Very interesting, especially here when it's an insulator, which, you know, particles are attracted in, usually kept in. Superconductor, so you've got insulator and a conductor, so it does both. It's a metal, so it's most likely malleable, it's tough, and a magnet, which is just crazy. Like, wow. You can pause that and read that. I'm gonna go part. There's again, pause this and read it if you want to. Hopefully this is in focus. I'm really hoping it is. Never done this before. Buckyballs. I really like that they called the buckyballs. Actually, it's a nice little name for it. It's quite cool. But they are working with carbon-60 molecules. Now, carbon obviously is what physically makes up the most. No, carbon is what makes up the majority of this physical manifestation. There we go. So, obviously, molecules is the atoms, the placement of atoms. But this 60-bit, I'm not quite sure about. Whether it's carbon 60 or carbon minus 60, I'm not quite sure at the moment. But I'm sure that will be explained in time. 60. Actually, yeah, while I'm on that, there's a great picture of this, which I find just fascinating. And wait, here it is. This is absolutely amazing. Wait, let's see if I can get this a bit bigger for you. View image. I want to center this. Why can't I center this? Is there a zoom? No. But anyway, that's what it is. So these what I assume the hexagonal what would they be, prisms in a way. These hexagonal prisms I assume are the buckyballs, because they are the 66-sided. I'm kind of assuming here, but sounds about right. So these so what they're saying with this new discovery, why it's a new state of matter, is you see these blue balls, they are the electrons. Now, normally they would either be all external or all internal, not both. So you have this in here, got going in, going in, going in, going in, out, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. But interestingly, none of them are actually in the center of it. They're just inside, which is quite interesting, because that actually shows something else, which I'll get to in a moment. I just thought I'd show you that now, because these I find are absolutely incredible, and I love geometry anyway, so this is just a bonus for me. What we got? Let's go back to this one. Actually, while I'm on it, no. The Jahn-Teller Effect. The Jahn-Teller Effect, sometimes also known as Jahn-Teller distortion, sorry, describes the geometrical distortion of molecules and ions that is associated with certain electron configurations. This electronic effect is named after Hermann Arthur Jahn and Edward Teller, who proved using group theory that orbital nonlinear spatially degenerate molecules cannot be stable. Now that is a mouthful. Orbital nonlinear spatially degenerate molecules cannot be stable. Let's see if we can break this down. So orbital, so this would be the electrons floating about, free flowing in and out, being in an orbit basically, and it might even be as well the actual buckyballs being orbited by the next one. And if you've noticed, if you look at the hexagonal pattern on the front of them, they're not all the same way around. So they're obviously different sequences of the pattern, which is also pretty cool. The Jahn-Teller Theorem essentially states that any I am not being able to speak today. The Jahn-Teller Theorem essentially states that any nonlinear molecule with a spatially degenerate electronic ground state will undergo a geometrical distortion that removes that degeneracy. Now, again, that is a lot of sort of technical words for the non-scientist. I am not a big scientist myself, but I am intrigued by this universe, so let's continue. The word for me that really got me was degenerate, so I did actually look it up. Degenerate energy levels. In quantum mechanics, we love quantum mechanics, an energy level is said to be degenerate if it corresponds to two or more different measurable states of a quantum system. I hope I don't need to read on. Just look it up yourself. You already obviously have internet access if you're watching this, so go have a browse. It's quite interesting actually if you keep going. But yeah, continuing. Yeah, let's read this again. The Jahn-Teller Theorem essentially states that any non-linear molecule, so anything without a constant pattern, with a spatially degenerate electronic ground state. So ground state is its natural state in this three-dimensional plane. Electronic, obviously electronically charged. Degenerate, we just said. So a spatially degenerate electronic ground state is would be. Let me go back to this. Wait, what did it say again? Spatially degenerate electronic ground state. So spatially, so you got the it's similar to orbit. You got the orbital points. So spatially degenerate. So it's affected by the different. Well, it said two or more. So I think that's one reason, or one way they've explained why the blue balls are actually present outside and inside, but not in the middle. But they haven't actually touched upon much on why it's not in the middle. I haven't actually found that yet. Continuing, will undergo a geometrical distortion that removes that degeneracy. Now, this is where it gets interesting, even more so. So, I'll read this one more time. The Jahn-Teller Theorem essentially states that any non-linear molecule with a spatially degenerate electronic ground state will undergo a geometrical distortion that removes that degeneracy, because the distortion lowers the overall energy of the species. Right? You've got another type of geometrical distortion, which is in crystals, but that's not what we're looking at right now. Although crystals, I'll go over crystals at some point. So, why is this happening? Why is it that we are seeing states of matter acting how they shouldn't be? Why are they acting this way? Now, there are obviously going to be a few theories about it, but by the tell of it, the scientists are either completely baffled by this. I mean, obviously they can explain what's going on, but the why question is always a difficult one. By the looks of it, they're baffled. Maybe they're just keeping it hidden. I don't know, but I'm gonna share with you why anyway. So why is this happening? Why are these balls free-flowing and going in and out of these molecules? Now, this goes back to planes, dimensions, and the age of the universe. And I don't mean age as in the measurement of how old it is, how long it's been here. I mean age as in the age of a the age as a cycle. So the universe's age right now, like we've been on Earth, we've been through the Stone Age, the Iron Age, the Ice Age. Right now, I don't even know what age we're in right now. Like small term, I don't know where we're going. But long term, we have just completed the 26-year thousand cycle, which is the main cycle. We have moved from the Pisces to the Aquarius age. Now this means many things are going to happen. One being that the distance between the different dimensions are getting smaller. Okay? Which means that these different dimensions are going to start merging with each other. So one example is that We all exist in this 3D realm, which you cannot deny. I mean, this is a solid thing. It's in the third dimension. Like, that just makes sense. But we are moving through the fourth dimension into the fifth, and for me, this actually represents that. And I'm so happy that they found this, because now we have clear, non-bias proof that, you know, something's going on. Now, our transition from the third dimension to the fifth is a long one, although saying that, we've been doing it for a very long time, so it's actually sort of come round now. So luckily, in a way luckily, well yeah, lucky we were able to witness this change. It's quite incredible. So looking at the geometrical layout of this, it yeah, it does represent this, because you have the actual three-dimensional thing, this carbon 60 molecule, the buckyball, which in a way I suppose you could use as an example to represent Earth right now. And then this is like the fifth dimension, let's say. These balls are part of the fifth dimension. Or this sort of, the nothingness is, well, the nothingness is always there anyway, because there's always like a vacuum, there's always space. We'll have a discussion on space, because I'm not going to say I'm going to do a video on space, because space is like the most complex nothingness there is. Like, it's space, it's nothingness, like how to explain nothingness, but we'll get to that. Right, so for me, when I look at this, when I look at the little blue balls just on the outer limits and inner limits of the buckyballs, the reason it's not in the center is because we're not actually in the fifth dimension yet. We are moving that way. We are being filtered into the fifth dimension through the fourth dimension. Now, the fourth dimension is a kind of a unified dimension. So it's acts as a filter to I'm not quite sure actually, to be honest, but still, this well, yeah, buckyballs, the Jahn-Teller Effect. That's probably going to be it for now. But seriously, oh no, wait, I remember reading this one. There was a good bit down here. Here it is. What happens in the Jahn-Teller effect is that as pressure is applied, so this is the filter being introduced, per se, this is the movement of the transition, and as what was previously an insulator, so previously just a three-dimensional manifestation, thanks to the electrically distorting Jahn-Teller effect, becomes a metal, the effect persists for a while. So we've established that scientists need to work on their English, but we'll come back to that. This is science, not English, so they're forgiven. Thanks to the electrically distorting, this is the reason. So the Jahn-Teller effect is the reason why this is happening. This is how they're explaining what they don't know. The electrically distorting Jahn-Teller effect. So something is distorting the natural electrical field and arrangement of particles and all the stuff that makes up the bloody blah. The molecules hang on to their old shapes, so which meaning we still do exist in this three-dimensional plane. The realm we're gonna live in will still be Earth. It will still be this place. We're just gonna have access to more. So there is an overlap of sorts where the material still looks an awful like an insulator. There you go. So yeah, so it's still going to be present on the Earth, but we're going to have access to more things. There's going to be an overlap of these dimensions. These are the gap between the dimensions are getting smaller. As I said, they're overlapping. So they're merging, exactly. Awful lot like news. But the electrons also manage to hop around as freely as if the material were a conductor. Right, so this is where sort of the magnet comes in. So it conducts the magnetic charge, which means that it has the energy field which allows the electrons to move, because if it wasn't there it would be contained inside the molecular structure of the actual buckyball. Now that is quite useful in energy work, as in electrical energy, well, other energy as well, but as in a magnet. Magnets are very good for electrical charge, because they're actually sort of not electrical charges. But you got the electromagnetic charge, which is very useful. But if you can actually harness the magnetic power, it can be very useful. You can actually get a perpetual motion from it, and once you achieve that, it's pretty much, well, perpetual motion energy. A constant flow of energy which can be harnessed and used for many things. So that's going to be quite useful. Very useful indeed. What do we have here? Anything else interesting? But no, I just think these are amazing. As I said, I love geometry anyway, so this is just perfect for me. I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna end this here. This has been me. Look how beautiful it is. Like, oh. So yeah, this is the Jahn-Teller Effect, Jahn-Teller metals. Yeah, brilliant. Tell me what you think. What do you think this says about the future? What's gonna happen? I don't know, but let's discuss. And if there's any space discussions, go ahead. Any discussions about anything, any suggestions for videos, anything you found, please share. It's brilliant. It's amazing. The Jahn-Teller metal. Is it just me, or do you really want to get some? Just to have it, sort of, just to have that on your desk, and just to have that just sort of spinning there. But yeah, I'm rambling now. So thank you for watching. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all the usual. Stay lucid, and I will be
seeing you soon. Have a good day, guys. Goodbye.